Hi all, in this video we will study congestion control. The congestion control is implemented only in TCP, that is not in UDP. The definition of congestion. Informally, what is a congestion is that too many sources sending too much data too fast for the network to handle. Too many sources are sending in a fast rate into a common network, then there occurs the congestion. We can identify the congestion in a network by identifying the lost packets and identifying the long delay. And both these are happening at the routers or router buffers. This is the symptom of congestion. Here we can see the difference between flow control and the congestion control. Congestion is different from flow control. The main difference between the flow control and congestion control is that the flow control is a mechanism that controls the traffic between sender and the receiver. That is, it is between the neighboring devices. On the other hand, the congestion control mechanism controls the traffic that is placed in the transport layer into the network layer. That is, the congestion occurs at the network layer devices. The approach for the congestion control is to have each sender limit the rate at which it sends the traffic into its connection as a function of perceived network congestion. That is, the congestion in the network can be perceived, and based on the value of the congestion, or it can be identified in some sense, and based on this value the sender limit the rate at which it sends the traffic. And if the sender perceives that there is little congestion on the path, that is very few amount of packets are delivering, then the TCP sender increases the rate, increases the sending rate. Whereas if there is a congestion along the path, it is too tight, then the sender reduces the rate of sending. The congestion control algorithm is also known as additive increase multiplicative decrease algorithm, AIMD. And in this approach, the sender increases the transmission rate based on the window size, so that it can improve the bandwidth utilization. And this increasing pattern is performed until a loss is identified. Additive increase means increase the congestion window size by double MSS on every RTT until a loss is detected. Once the loss is detected, the congestion window size is getting reduced by half. That is multiplicative decrease. Additively increasing the size. Once the loss is identified, it is reducing by half. Then additive increase, multiplicative decrease. And this is performed continuously. Then it is having a sawtooth effect because of this additive increase and a multiplicative decrease. Here we can see the congestion window CWND. This is similar to the things like GBN. The sender limits the transmission based on the size of the congestion window. The congestion window initial value is identified with the minimum among receiver congestion window and sender congestion window. Whichever one of these two are minimum, that will be the actual window size. And CWND is a dynamic variable, and it can take the value increasingly or decreasingly based on the perceived network congestion. RWND is the name of the window at the receiving side. No difference between CWND and RWND. The sending rate, the sender keeps track of the variable CWND. It imposes a constraint on the rate at which the TCP sender sends the traffic into the network. The sentence rate is roughly per RTT one congestion window. This is the normal sending rate. By adjusting the value of the CWND, the sender can therefore adjust the rate at which it sends the data. That is, CWND can be increased or decreased. The packet loss or packet delayed packets uh, or duplicate acknowledgements. These are the symptoms for identifying the congestion in the network, and based on this value, CWND's value is varying. This is the first phase of the algorithm, TCP slow start. And when the connection begins, the increase rate is exponentially until the first loss event is occurred. Initially, the congestion window size will be 1 MSS and it will be doubled in every RTT. That is 1 and 2 and 4, and it is doubled continuously until the first loss event is occurred. Then, as a summary, we can say that initial rate is very slow but ramps up exponentially fast. The second phase of the algorithm is CA state, that is congestion avoidance. When our system enter into slow start to congestion avoidance stage. In the slow start, it will be in the increasing exponential increase order, but in the CA state, it will be increasing linearly. The size of the window is linearly increasing. CA is more conservative approach and increases the value of the congestion window linear. This linear increase will continue until a loss occurs. From slow start to congestion avoidance stage, it will be moving based on the value of the threshold. S thresh is a variable which store the threshold value at the slow start phase. And after the exponential increase, the congestion window size will be more than the threshold value. That time the threshold will be reduced half the size of the congestion window and it will enter into congestion avoidance phase. Here it is a summary of the congestion control algorithm. Here we have three different stages: slow start, congestion avoidance and a fast recovery. In all the three cases, if we get a new acknowledgement, it is a positive scenario. That is, new acknowledgement is receiving, so we can increase the congestion window size exponentially at the slow start phase, and at the congestion avoidance stage also we can increase the size of the congestion window, but it will be in linear fashion only. In case of fast recovery, it is not such a good thing to keep the entire system in the fast recovery. So, even though it is acknowledging the new packets, the congestion window is reduced to the threshold value and the count is set as duplicate count is set as 0, and it is entering back to the previous state, that is the congestion avoidance state, because the most beneficial for the entire system is to either work in the slow start phase or in the congestion avoidance phase. In all the three cases, new acknowledgements are positive scenarios. But in case of timeout, that is, timeout represents a duplicate acknowledgement count to 3. Timeout represents the loss of packets. So at the slow start phase or at the CA phase or at the fast recovery phase, in any of the phases, if the timeout occurs, then the same activity is performed, that is, the congestion window size is reduced. Sorry, threshold size is reduced to half of the congestion window. Then congestion window size is set as 1 and duplicate acknowledgement count is set as 0 and retransmit the lost packets. When the duplicate acknowledgement is equal to 3 means 3 packets are lost. So the threshold is reduced again, but the congestion window size will be the threshold plus 3 MSS, and this 3 stands for the lost 3 packets. It is increasing the size of the congestion window to threshold plus 3, and this is same in case of slow start phase as well as in the congestion avoidance phase when the duplicate count is equal to 3. In slow start phase, if the duplicate acknowledgement is received, then it will be increased continuously till it is reaching to the value 3. The same is occurring at the CA phase also. When the duplicate acknowledgement is received, and it will be continuously increased until it is reaching to the value 3. And this much only for the congestion control technique, and it is expressed with the help of FSM. That's it. Thank you.